Jamaica, there's an old Jamaican saying that many of us grew up hearing. If you can't catch Kwaku, you catch him short. Simple words, but powerful words. Because sometimes in politics, the person being attacked is not always the real target. Sometimes the real target is standing behind him. Oftentimes, the shirt gets grabbed because Kwaku is proving much harder to catch. And that brings us to one of the biggest political debates now gripping Jamaica. Dr. Andrew Wheatley, once again. Not crime, not inflation, not healthcare, not education, but Andrew Wheatley. Again, you see, the question Jamaicans should be asking is not merely whether Dr. Andrew Wheatley should remain in cabinet. The bigger question is this: is Andrew Wheatley really the target, or is Andrew Holness still the target? Because if we are honest with ourselves, Petrojam was never just about Petrojam. It became the vehicle through which many hoped to politically wound the Prime Minister. You see, if you may recall, when the Petrojam controversy exploded, the headlines were relentless. Day after day, week after week, month after month, the public was told that the scandal represented something much bigger than a state agency controversy. Remember? The message being pushed then was clear. The Holness administration had failed. The government had lost control. Corruption was everywhere. Confidence was collapsing. And the Prime Minister's credibility was under assault. Andrew Wheatley ultimately resigned, but many Jamaicans noticed something. The resignation did not satisfy the critics. You remember that? It did not end the attacks. It did not stop the accusations, because the real prize appeared to be much larger than one cabinet minister. The real prize was Dr. Andrew Holness. The political opposition smelled opportunity. Commentators sharpened their knives. Activists mobilized, and many confidently predicted the beginning of the end for the Holness administration then. But something remarkably happened. The Jamaican people had their say. Election after election, poll after poll, the political collapse that many predicted just never materialized. The government not just survived, but thrived. The Prime Minister not just survived, but thrived. In fact, Dr. Andrew Holness emerged stronger than many expected. And that is why today's controversy feels strangely familiar. Forgive me if I say so. Because once again, Andrew Wheatley is back in the spotlight. Once again, there are demands for resignation. Once again, there are calls for immediate action. Once again, the headlines are louder than the evidence currently available to the public. And once again, many Jamaicans are asking whether due process still matters. From I was a boy growing up, we have been hearing about due process. Let due process take its course. Now, let me be clear. The Integrity Commission performs an important role. No serious democracy can function without oversight. Transparency matters. Accountability matters. Investigations have to be done. Nobody should be above scrutiny. Nobody. But scrutiny and conviction are not the same thing. Investigation and guilt are not the same thing. Allegation and proof are not the same thing, my people. Yet somehow, in modern Jamaica, those distinctions seem to disappear whenever a major political story breaks. A report emerges, a leak appears, a headline is published. Social media explodes, talk shows light up, commentators deliver verdicts, political opponents demand resignations. And suddenly, a political trial begins. Not in a courtroom, not before a judge, not based on tested evidence, but in a court of public opinion. And here is where things become dangerous. Because public trials have very different rules than actual trials. Actual trials require evidence. Public trials require outrage. Actual trials require proof. Public trials require perception. Actual trial requires facts. Public trials require headlines. And if history has taught us anything, it is that public trials often get things wrong. Very wrong, as a matter of fact. Many Jamaicans can recall moments when individuals were politically convicted long before the facts were fully examined. The accusations sounded devastating on both sides. The headlines sounded convincing. The public certainly seemed overwhelmed, only for important details to emerge later, only for weaknesses to appear, only for questions to be raised about the original claims. Suddenly, many of the same people who were absolutely certain found themselves trying to explain why things were not quite as clear-cut as their first claim. Eggs are all over faces. The problem is that by then, reputations have already been damaged. The headlines remain. The accusations remain. The public memory remains, even when the evidence becomes more complicated. And this brings us directly to the current controversy. The Integrity Commission's report, as I read it, speaks of approximately 164 million Jamaican dollars in alleged unexplained wealth. That number has dominated the headlines because big numbers always make for big headlines. Remember that. But Wheatley and his legal team have responded with their own explanation. They argue that significant streams of rental income and other financial transactions were either misunderstood or not properly accounted for. Now, I am not here to determine who is right. That is not my job, that is not your job. And it certainly is not the job of social media. The purpose of due process is to determine exactly that. The purpose of evidence is to determine exactly that. The purpose of courts is to determine exactly that. Who is right, who is wrong. But before those processes even begin, many people have already reached their conclusion. The man is guilty. The man must go. Because it makes headlines. The Prime Minister must act. Case closed. Really? Since when did Jamaica become a country where allegations automatically become convictions? Tell me. Since when did newspaper headlines become legal judgments? Really? Since when did political pressure become evidence? Because if that becomes our standard, none of us should be comfortable. Not JLP supporters, not PNP supporters. Nobody. Today it is Andrew Wheatley. Tomorrow it could be, you guess. The principle must remain the same. Either evidence matters or it does not. Either due process matters or it does not. As for fairness, either fairness matters or it does not. And there's another uncomfortable question that many Jamaicans continue to ask today. Why does it sometimes feel as though certain individuals attract extraordinary levels of scrutiny while others appear to receive considerably less attention? Whether that perception is fair or unfair, it exists. And perceptions matter. As a matter of fact, some people will tell you that perceptions, that's reality. Because in situations, we find that strength is derived from public confidence. The moment citizens begin believing that accountability is selective, trust starts to erode. The moment citizens begin believing that investigations are politically uneven, credibility starts to suffer. That is why consistency matters. Not because anyone should be protected, but because everyone should be treated equally. Same standard should apply to everyone. The same scrutiny, the same process, the same fairness. Nothing more, nothing less. Simple as that. Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness now finds himself facing a familiar dilemma. If he removes Wheatley immediately, critics will celebrate. If he keeps Wheatley, critics will accuse him of protecting an ally. Either way, the political attacks will continue. Because politics is really about solving today's controversy. Note that, my friends. Don't let that one elude you. Politics is usually about positioning for tomorrow's election. And that is why I believe this story is much bigger than Andrew Wheatley. This story is really about whether Jamaica still believes in due process, whether institutions can investigate without becoming political actors, whether allegations should be tested before punishments are imposed, and whether governments should govern according to evidence or according to the loudest voices in the room. Listen, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, appears to have made his position clear. Until formal processes play out, due process matters. Evidence matters, facts matter, not noise, not pressure, not hashtags. And whether you support that position or oppose it, one thing is undeniable. The final verdict on Andrew Wheatley will not be delivered by commentators like myself. It will not be delivered by activists like others. It will not be delivered by YouTube channels like mine. It will not be delivered by newspaper editorials even. It will be delivered where it should always be delivered. By evidence, by facts, and by due process. Simple as that. Everything else is noise. Because if Jamaica abandons those principles, then nobody is truly safe. Not government ministers, not opposition politicians, not public servants, not ordinary citizens, and perhaps that is the lesson we should all remember. If you cannot catch Kwaku, don't be so eager to tear off the shirt. Because one day, somebody may decide that your shirt looks suspicious too. And when that day comes, you may suddenly discover how important due process really is. My friends, this has been Dear Jamaica. We do need to talk. One nation, one country, under God. Please support the channel, like, share, and subscribe to hear more of a balanced perspective in a space where all views contend. Until next time, see you then.
Dear Jamaica,
Here we come.
one people, one nation.